Hey, how's it going, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to talk about a particular rumor that's just recently sprung up and talked about, that there's a possibility something that could be happening with From Software, the developers, participating and basically working on a PlayStation 5 exclusive project. Now, we don't exactly know what it is going to be entailed, but this leaker suggests that it's actually going to be something that has to do with Bloodborne. Now, it's not going to be like the sequel or perhaps even a prequel to Bloodborne, but instead what's been named as a spiritual successor to Bloodborne. Again, we don't know what this could be entailing to. Now, before I continue with this conversation and, a little bit extra and, with the confirmations and if we can trust this as well, you should note that this is just a rumor. It's leaks. We don't know if this will actually come into fruition of being a realistic thing to believe so. And it's also been talked about that there's a possibility that From Software maybe actually already be revealing something at the E3 2022, or perhaps the following year later. Now, there's also rumors going on that the release of this so-called the spiritual successor Bloodborne, right, actually have a code name of Velvet Veil. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name. But yes, this is actually going to be coming in 2023. But if we already know how From Software operates, if that's the case, then they will be releasing at the beginning of the year in 2023. I don't know if this is going to be enough time for them to be, working on like a Bloodborne sequel, whatever. I know, like I said, it's not a sequel, as been mentioned here, and it's not a prequel. But what does it entail then? Perhaps maybe it's going to be like an expanded version of Bloodborne that we already know and love, but on top of that, it's going to be a lot bigger in scope, right? It's going to be with 60 FPS, 4K resolution, and what we already had, but it's going to be implemented into the PlayStation 5 and then also expanded on top. So basically a remaster and also being worked on even more. So it's going to include even more than just a remaster. Now, if that's the case, I actually do believe that From Software can definitely manage that and actually create the game what they want to do, make those improvements, get rid of more bugs and issues and some other issues, maybe change some few things around since there is a remaster. Like, again, that's just my proposal in here. Then I think they can actually meet that, deadline that's 2023, as it's been talked about. Now, this rumor is apparently coming from the leaker who has also talked about Sekiro, Derasine, I'm not butchering the name, and Elden Ring being an open world in the past. He was also the guy that talked about Dark Souls remaster, and that's actually was in the works since the beginning of, 2017, making a new open world Souls written by that big name. He also actually talked about the Derasine and Sekiro before they were even released, and that's actually talking about years before it was even announced. So, there is still some kind of credibility that perhaps he has, and maybe he was completely on the right, and maybe he completely guessed these things too. It definitely is a possibility. But of course, I can't be one of the people that kind of a little bit excited to hear something that has been going on about with Bloodborne. And yet again, if it's not even being as a sequel like Bloodborne 2, like everybody really wants it, even though being a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, I'm gonna be satisfied with that too. Even though my hungers can already be filled in January 2022 with the Elden Ring's release. Again, I should perhaps say that this release is not exactly going to be a fully confirmed thing that it actually will be coming then. Again, we are in a corona situation, and obviously anything can change during the development. Perhaps maybe they actually have, made that kind of announcement already, since they are very confident and maybe the games are far further in the development. Because to be honest with you, I'm sure that the From Software had to internally delay Elden Ring. Perhaps even they wanted to release it in 2021, but they could not hit that mark, and instead they delayed it by a year to 2022. Now, if I would have to give it a little bit of a doubt, he was also one of the guys that said that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice will actually be coming as an exclusive towards the PlayStation, and obviously that turned out to be completely wrong. So again, he was on the right some of the parts, and yet he was also on the wrong on some of the other issues too. So you'll have to take it as a grain of salt and see for yourself if you want to believe this, information or not. I will leave down links below in the description if you want to read it for yourself as well, and maybe you can make more out of it than I can. But at least at the moment, knowing about that there is at least a little bit of a possibility, and yet again it's important for me to clarify that these rumors and leaks and stuff like this has always been happening around the net. It is pretty normal thing. A lot of people want something and obviously they'll spring up anything at this point. And again, there is always a thirst for something that they're looking forward to for so long, and yet it just did not happen for whatever the reason. And that truly, it just sucks, right? And of course we have to understand Corona and people, and also the business as well. Is it really going to be that profitable? And yet, from software being busy with the Elden Ring, PlayStation, of course, perhaps they were waiting for the opportunity to be with the partnership once again with From Software, the developers, and perhaps again make an exclusive game. And yet, because such a major success that Bloodborne has given to them, to PlayStation, right, and of course From Software too, and I can definitely see this can be very, very fruitful relationship between the two. And of course, I feel like they're gonna establish this relationship once again. If not, they may have already done it so after the release of Elden Ring, and maybe even now, who the hell knows, right? They are already in the production of making the next Bloodborne, or like I said, the spiritual successor to Bloodborne. Mind you, no matter what it is going to be, even 60 FPS, 4K resolution, and perhaps like a remaster with the inclusion of a DLC, right? I just want something to be getting my hands into Bloodborne experience once again. Again, I'm not saying as if I don't want to experience Elden Ring. Hell no, I'm very much looking forward to that. Definitely, it's one of my most anticipated games of 2022, and I'm so glad the way it's coming out so early in 2022. Would have loved it, to receive it in my hands earlier, but I cannot be very selfish about that, so I can still wait. It's not a problem. Still, there's plenty of other games for me to, get my teeth into and actually experience and play by that time. Still, we have to wait a little bit longer for us to experience this game. Again, if it does not get delayed, like I said, there is always a possibility for that. Now tell me down in the comments, guys, as well, what do you think about this information? Are you, obviously everybody wants this to be real, to be true, but again, what is there a possibility if this actually will be the truth? Obviously we will know a lot more about this, I'd say maybe during the E3 2022. And if not then, perhaps the earliest, I would say E3 2023. And man, it's gonna be very exciting either way. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and yeah, have a good one, guys.